Hello, everyone. My name is John Brenneman. I am the president here at MOAA Vacations. We're joined today by our great friend Brett Dahlgren from Viking. Thank everybody for joining us today. A couple of notes real quick before we get started. We are recording this, so we will send everybody an email, which will include a link to this webinar in case you want to review it. We need to download it and upload it to YouTube, but you should have it this evening. If not tonight, you'll have it tomorrow morning. Before I turn it over to Brad, he's got a lot to cover. I always like to talk a little bit about MOAA Vacations and what makes us different from other travel agencies. This slide right here, we just got 4 points that we talk about. The first thing is service. We do provide a concierge level of service. This is seen in a lot of different ways, but we are a full service travel agency that specializes in vacation travel. So we want to be your travel agent for all of your future vacation plans. One of the things we always mention when we talk about our concierge level of service is our satisfaction guarantee. You won't get this from any other travel agency, as we are the only travel agency in the United States that offers this. And basically what that guarantee means, if you have any problems either before or during your trip, you reach out to us. All the problems are typically handled either by myself. That's about 90% of the cases. In some cases, you may talk to our Vice President, Mike Tyrell. But if you have an issue, you immediately talk to the executive staff. And then I reach out to one of my good friends like Brett at Viking, and we get that problem resolved quickly and to your complete satisfaction. We do guarantee the lowest prices. And in addition to that, we do have opportunities where we actually offer discounts off the price or the value that you would receive if you went either direct to Viking or if you went to another agency. I may ask Brett to talk about that a little bit at the end. When Brett gets done with this discussion, we will do a Q&A. And so if at any point you have any questions, just go ahead. If you put your mouse or your cursor, you'll see a little box that says Q&A in it. Just type your questions in there. I will be answering questions while Brett's doing his presentation. But if it's something I think everybody will be interested in, we will definitely bring those back up when Brett's done and we're doing the Q&A. The reason I referenced that is the last time we did a Viking webinar, somebody actually asked the question about booking direct with Viking as compared to booking through MOAA Vacations. And I thought Brett did an excellent job of explaining from Viking's perspective why you're better served booking through MOAA Vacations. We do free amenities. Hopefully everybody's seen that from today till the end of May, we do have a promotion going. I'm sure Brett will talk about this more, but if you book any Viking Ocean, Viking Expedition, or Viking River Cruise between now and the end of the month, you'll receive a $100 per person onboard credit. And then another thing that Brett's going to talk about is group opportunities. Something that we offer that other travel agencies can't is the opportunity to travel with your fellow MOAA members, not only from your local area or your local chapter, from all across the country. We do have a couple of groups that we're going to talk about today, which I think are two great opportunities that hopefully you can join us on. This came up a couple of times recently, and I just want to make sure it's clear. Everything that we offer to MOAA members extends to your friends and family. Anyone that you travel with can also receive the lowest price guarantee, the satisfaction guarantee on service. They can travel with the groups, and then they receive the free amenities. So let's say that you're looking at the Egypt group and going on that. If you want to bring your neighbors, a family member, kids, grandkids, whomever you want to bring, they will also receive, they have the ability to book into the group and get the group discount, and they will also receive that amenity. So basically, everything we offer is to MOAA members and all of their guests. So not open to the general public, but open to MOAA members and their guests. So when you receive the video of this presentation, if there's somebody that you think would be interested in going with you, absolutely feel free to forward them the email that you receive with the video in it. They can watch it. And hopefully, if you'd like them to join you, they're willing to join you. So without any further ado, we are all here today to hear more about Viking. So, Brett, take it away.
Thank you so much, John, and so happy to share a little bit more about Viking. And yes, do share this with friends, family, like-minded colleagues who you think would enjoy traveling with you or just traveling to Viking. And as John said, the MOAA guarantee really is a guarantee, and they give incredible service. He and his team are so knowledgeable. I reach out all the time. We're constantly giving updates so that they know too what is best for the product and also pricing. And so, really want to share a little bit more about the product today. Now, my background, I worked on board Vikings ships more than 5 years in excursions as well as a hotel general manager. So hopefully you find the information very authentic as we have a lot to offer and we sail pretty much the entire world, all 7 continents, almost 100 countries, more than 400 ports. Now, farther away, all the way in the Far East, or closer to home on the Mississippi and in the Great Lakes. And we really want to give you the chance to see and experience the Viking difference. And the Viking difference falls into kind of three categories that we're destination focused, we're culturally enriching, and we're carefully curated. We really want to keep the destination the destination. There's larger and larger ships that are out there. Our focus is to have that small ship cruising where the destination stays the destination. We'll stay in those destinations longer than some of the other ships, sometimes even overnight. We want to make sure that you're able to fully see and experience those destinations. Then the culture that goes along with those destinations, the people, the food, the flavors, the music, all of that history that's in those destinations through the culture and the enrichment. And then the fact that we're carefully curated. Every decision that Viking makes is very, very intentional. We want to make sure that the menus we select, the crew that we hire, we hire some incredible crew. We take care of our crew. Our crew take care of our guests. And so the Viking difference really is those three tiers to give you the best possible value and experience when traveling with Viking. Now, Viking is not everything to everyone. We do want like-minded, curious-minded individuals who want to see and explore. We want you to focus on those destinations, but in a strong value. We are a strong operator in the way that we operate, and really want to give you a chance to see and explore. Part of that is that we don't nickel and dime. We have a very inclusive value that upfront costs really is that full cost. And so even in my experience as a general manager on board, many of our guests had $0 bills at the end of a voyage because there's not a lot of options. And maybe in the gift shop you can buy something to take home, but we don't have those little nickel and dime charges for Wi-Fi or bottled water. That's all included. We really have a very inclusive value as well. A lot for activities and enrichment when going ashore. Really want to give you a lot. And of course, as I mentioned, and again, a little biased, I think we have the best crew. We have a great retention. Our crew come back year after year after year and give that high level of service and very, very proud of our crew. Now, we like to say we're the thinking person's cruise, not the drinking person's cruise. We have enrichment all throughout, and so really that curious-minded. But as you see, of course, here are some wines. We do have some wonderful wines, but our chef will share about those pairings, share about the regions in which those wines come from, and why they pair so well with the menus that we serve. Now, looking at when you're going to sail, it could be in 6 months, it could be in 2 years. So there could be some time in anticipation, and we have a lot of different resources to keep you engaged and to know more before you travel. And one of those is Viking.tv. So our main website is Viking.com, but Viking.tv is a web-based TV channel where every day there's a new episode that highlights a culture or a music, a culinary experience. And so you can tune in and you can learn about the region in which they're talking about that day, or you can search for different regions or cultures that you might be traveling to, and you can see and learn more about that. Once you get on board, we have our enrichment lecturers, we have our resident historians destination performers. We really, again, want to share that culture. And then traveling with like-minded individuals. I know many of you, before you travel, are going to research some of those cafes or the shops to go to. And so you can share that information with others and go off and explore and tell those stories as you come back and enjoy dinner together or a cocktail in the lounge in the evening. I had mentioned that culinary experience and those pairings. We really want to bring a lot of that culinary to you while on board. And so, of course, on some of our tours, we'll have taste of tours or a chance to go to local markets. But we bring a lot of that back with our tours. And then our chefs go out in the ports of call and go to those local markets. And we'll always highlight that. Our left side of the menu is our always available or kind of classics where you'll have your steak, your salmon, chicken, Caesar salad. That's always available. But then on the right side, we're going to have a destination focused menu that has an appetizer, a soup, a main course, a dessert that really highlights the region or the country that you're sailing to give you a taste so that you don't have to go off and spend more money in those ports of call, but really get those flavors that are authentic to that region. Now, of course, because we stay so late and sometimes overnight in these ports, you can go back out and you can try some of the local foods, but we want to share that with you. And some of the other events are things like our Taste of events, where we have a whole kind of spread, almost a buffet of options where you can go up and pick a la carte different items, or you can have the meal of the day, the Taste of menu, and that's a plated meal that'll come served with really all those major flavors of the region. Now, I talked about that inclusive value. Here are a number of the items that you typically on a lot of lines wouldn't be upcharged for. These are all included. So our daily shore excursion, which is a 2 to 3 hour excursion where you're out seeing the highlights of the destination. If you only had 2 to 3 hours, what would you want to see? That's what we're going to take you to see. We're going to see in Barcelona La Sagrada Familia and the Gothic quarters. We're going to go to the Olympic Village on a guided tour. If we're in Livorno in Italy, we're going to take you to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is the included tour for the day, that highlight of the region. And then we do have some boutique tours if you want to do a cooking class or a helicopter ride, where those are optional options for you. Then we have our Wi-Fi, our meals, even our specialty dining on our ocean and expedition ships. There's no additional charge, simply need a reservation. Beer, wine, soft drinks, you can get those at lunch and dinner, and then up in our cafe. They're pretty much always available for you as complimentary. We really don't want to nickel and dime. More and more on our ocean with the spa and major, options for you with the 8 different dining options. And no real additional fees throughout. Now, I want to share a short video about the Viking experience ashore, as again, so much of the experience is those excursions and the way that we take care of, sharing that culture with you. So a short video we call The Viking Way.
At Viking, we offer our guests the iconic and the expected, of course. But we also appreciate that we're all different. While I might be interested in more of a local life experience, a visit to a farmer's market in France, or a home visit along the Volga River in Russia, others might be more interested in understanding how a local economy works. So they might be interested in a factory visit. Or on a smaller scale, a visit with a Portuguese baker. My record! So local life and working worlds are experiences that we include for our guests. And then we have privileged access. And that really is privileged. We open doors to places that otherwise aren't open. We share some of our friends' homes and palaces and castles around the world that they otherwise wouldn't share with just anybody. We open museums before and after closing out, and we provide our guests with experiences that are not buyable. These owners appreciate that the Viking guest is different. The Viking guest is traveling to learn. The Viking guest is traveling to connect. Hosts in various destinations actually really enjoy sharing their worlds with our guests because it's a mutually rewarding experience. And what I enjoy very much is seeing that it's not just our guests with big smiles on their faces, it's also our hosts. Everybody leaves pleased, and that's hugely rewarding. The Viking way. Local life, working world, and privileged access. It's a commitment to make sure that we do everything we can to give our guests real experiences and privileged experiences beyond their expectations. That's what sets us apart from many other cruise lines. That's the Viking way.
And that's the voice of Karina Hagen. And Karina Hagen is our executive vice president and very involved with the tour operation and getting to meet and understand those cultures to then share with you. And so the local life and the working world are very much part of our daily included excursions. And then we have that privileged access that really goes behind the scenes. And these three categories truly highlight the regions and give you the options to see and understand how life is like for the locals, whether that be sitting down and having lunch with students at Heidelberg University, or going behind the scenes at the Mercedes-Benz factory, or making wine with a winemaker. Those are the options to see the local life in the working world. And then our privileged access really goes behind the scenes, meeting the Vienna Boys Choir and having a private concert, or going to the top of the Cologne Cathedral, getting to see and experience things that others really cannot. Now, in order to sail along the riverways of Europe, we do have our stunning Viking longships. It's a unique design. Most ships around the world have a very pointed bow. We have this rounded bow, giving guests a great outdoor seating, really wonderful, open concept, so much public space, large picture windows, again, focused on the destination, but having a wonderful kind of hotel to unpack once and take you along the beautiful riverways of Europe. Now, we really want to highlight the style within. It's an understated elegance, and we have a Scandinavian design, our heritage of Viking, coming from Norway. Very dark winters in Norway, not a lot of sunlight, so filling the areas with large natural lights and skylights, as well as light color woods. Now, when I say that understated elegance, that means we want you to feel very comfortable, but it's not opulence and gaudiness. It's not things that you're worried about setting a glass on without a coaster. You can still set a glass down on the wonderful glass or marble that we have, but we want you to feel very comfortable in those areas as it's very, very well appointed. And again, all of that natural light. Here's that aquavit terrace, that outdoor seating out on the bow. My favorite is out on those rocking chairs. You can have a coffee in the morning, a nice glass of wine as you set sail in the afternoon, or even as we have some of our scenic sailing along the riverways to look out at some of the castles. Now, some of the most popular itineraries are going to be along the Rhine and the Danube. These are 2 8-day itineraries. The Rhine sails from Amsterdam to Basel. You can sail in either direction, really controlled by lock and dam, so it's up to you which direction you sail and more of where you'd like to start or end. And if you'd like to spend additional time in Amsterdam or additional time in Basel, or even head off to Lake Como or to Lucerne. Now, traveling along the way, though, you're going to get the tastes and flavors of Bavaria. You're going to go into the Black Forest. You're going to stop in Cologne and learn of its history. So much to see and experience along the Rhine. And then moving over to the Danube, another 8-day itinerary, sailing from Ravensburg to Budapest, or in the other direction, Budapest to Ravensburg. Same, it's up to you, either direction, controlled by lock and dam. But if you want to spend extra time in Budapest, or start in Nuremberg with a pre-extension and learn of its history before joining the ship. As you travel along, though, as I mentioned earlier, the music of the Vienna Boys Choir, or Strauss and Mozart, seeing and experiencing all of those musics along the way, but then also some of the lovely art and, of course, the food culture along this section as well. Now, if you're not sure which one of those two to start with, you can also tie them together in what we call the Grand European. It's a 15-day, which adds then Nuremberg as a stop along the way on the Main Canal. So you sail on the Rhine, through the Main, onto the Danube, or vice versa. Again, you can sail in either direction. Pretty much a full day in those ports, regardless of direction, because of the locks and dam, and really up to you as to which way you'd like to sail. Now, there's many, many options out there along the riverways. We sail into France as well. We do a Paris round trip, southern France from Avignon to Lyon, over into Burgundy, some round trips around that region. We sail over into Portugal along the Douro River. These sailings can happen throughout different times of the year, and there's even Christmas markets cruises. So really, up to you as to what you're looking for and the time of year as well. Time of year from Amsterdam, you can actually stay closer to that region and focus on Holland around this time of year and see all of the tulips, wonderful blooming of that, and really highlighting the tulip culture of the Dutch. Moving a little bit further away, though, we also have on the Mekong River, Vietnam and Cambodia, where you can do almost a land cruise. You've got a few days on land before you board the ship, really taking in that incredible culture of Vietnam and Cambodia. And then also onto the Nile, which is actually a trip that we have set. MOAA is going to be hosting a trip. It's going to be April 9th of 2016. So plenty of time to get things looking at this one, but it's again, a land cruise where you'll fly over to Cairo. You'll have 2 days to visit all of the museums, fully guided, with a local guide and an Egyptologist before a charter flight down to your beautiful ship, where you'll board for 8 days, sailing along the Nile River, stopping each day, learning of the history, culture, sailing from Luxor back to Luxor after the 8th day, and then charter flight back up to Cairo for another day at the museums before setting off on one of our post extensions, where you can even go to Jordan and Petra and learn more of that region. Or we have an extension going over to the UK and spending more time learning of some of the museum history there in the UK. Now, moving over to some of our ocean ships. When we went to build our ocean ships about 10 years ago, we wanted to replicate that small ship feeling onto an ocean vessel. So 930 passengers, small enough ships to get into those small destinations, but large enough to have a few more amenities like our large theater. We have cinemas as well. We have a fitness center, a salon, 3 different shops. Just so much more to really add in a little bit larger space. The different pools up on the top deck really want to give you the ability to relax, at the spa, or to be a little bit more adventurous as you head out on all of our tours. Now, on board for dining, we have 8 different dining options, from our main restaurant, which had that destination-focused menu, Manfredi's, which is going to be an Italian cuisine, Mumson's, our Norwegian deli, Winter Garden, which has afternoon tea, that tiered British kind of tea service, tea sommeliers on board. Chef's Table, which is a 7-course gastronomy. The World Cafe and Aquavit Terrace, which is cook-to-order stations. The Pool Grill, which is lighter fare. And if you're still hungry, 24-hour room service. And the best part, no additional charge. All of this is included in your cruise package. For the Manfredi's and Chef's Table, you do need a reservation, but all of the others, you simply go and enjoy, and it is just wonderful. Now, the staterooms, all veranda staterooms, all outside staterooms on our ocean-going vessels, all of the staterooms across all of our fleet are going to have little wonderful amenities like heated floors and anti-fog mirrors, really things that you don't have to have, but boy, they're nice when you get used to them. Wonderful amenities with our toiletries. The standard staterooms have so much space, and again, every room has a wonderful view. On our ocean ships, again, all veranda, a nice place to have kind of al fresco breakfast. Get that room service delivered. Every stateroom has a small refrigerator. We have no corkage fees, and we allow guests to bring items back on board. So if you want to go off and get some wine and cheese and bring it back on board the ship, you're welcome to do so. You can keep that in your refrigerator on board. We really want you to be able to, again, take in those destinations. Now, the destinations that we cover with our ocean ships, a little bit of everywhere. So, a big focus, though, in Scandinavia and into the Mediterranean. A lot of ports that we sail throughout the entire year. We sail both in the summer, the winter, the spring, the fall. We can do the Northern Lights in winter up in Norway, or the midnight sun, where you're in July or August and the sun goes to the horizon at 2 o'clock in the morning and then goes right back up. The Mediterranean, the nice quiet season when some of the other ships head to the Caribbean, we'll still have two ships that stay, allowing you to see and experience the ports of call in a much quieter time, more relaxed. North and South America will sail from Seattle and Vancouver up into Alaska. We'll do Panama Canal cruises from Fort Lauderdale. Again, so much into South America. One of my favorite itineraries is going to be our British Isles Explorer, which highlights a lot of the United Kingdom. And so you'll sail either from Bergen to London or London to Bergen, getting to see beautiful places like Edinburgh and its historic castles and the military presence with its military tattoo celebration in the summer. You really get to see and learn of its history as you head all around, stopping in places like Dublin and over to Liverpool. Culture flavors really highlighted, and a lot of guests find heritage in this itinerary. Another itinerary that has a lot of heritage is going to be our Mediterranean Odyssey, sailing from Barcelona all the way to Venice. There is an option where you can sail from Barcelona to Rome, to Civitavecchia, or you can sail from Rome to Venice. So there are two 7-day itineraries here put together to make a 13-day itinerary, really seeing that French Riviera along Marseille and Monte Carlo, over to Livorno, which is your opportunity to get into Tuscany and Pisa, over to Florence and its art, down to Naples and the taste of pizza and its history with Pompeii and Herculaneum, over to Greece and seeing the beautiful island of Corfu before heading up to Croatia and seeing the walled city of Dubrovnik, or Diocletian's Palace in Split. Again, lots of history throughout. Now, another neat itinerary, this is one of my favorites, is going to be the Viking homelands. And this is from Bergen to Stockholm. For me, this is very much a heritage tour, as I have heritage in Germany, Poland, as well as Denmark. So this itinerary touches Norway, Sweden, Finland, really gets to see a lot of these different islands as well as mainlands, sailing from Bergen all the way to Stockholm. One of my favorite ports, though, you can see it's called Eidfjord. Looks like you would have to drive all the way in, but this is through the Norwegian fjords, all the way up. Again, our small ships able to go all the way up the fjords, seeing and experiencing the natural beauty of the Norwegian fjords. Then heading down to Aalborg or Copenhagen and learning of the Danish culture and seeing Tivoli Gardens. Down to Vermunde, where you'll set off, and we have chartered trains that'll take guests, if they wish, down to Berlin to learn of its history. Over to Gdansk, Poland, one of my favorites, enjoying some pierogies before heading then up to Stockholm and beautiful Sweden to experience its culture as well. Again, this is a MOAA group trip that's set for July 29th of 2026. So if you're interested in this itinerary, there is a group of MOANs who will be traveling together on this, but many different times you can travel this really all throughout the year if interested. Now, I mentioned many itineraries. You can do back-to-back itineraries. You can add itineraries together. Our ships don't just sail back and forth. They continue along the coast. So many of those along the Mediterranean, into Scandinavia, all around the islands, around the different ports of call. Again, just so much history, culture, down into Malta and some of the other locations throughout the Adriatic. So celebrating culture and then heading into the Americas, North America, South America, down to the Chilean fjords and around the Southern Cape and Ushuaia. You get to see that history, culture. Over to Hawaii and some of the French Polynesian islands. We also sail Australia, New Zealand, Now, I will say this is a little bit further distance to get to, so that's where you see the itinerary length is a little bit longer as you've made that further trip. We do want to recognize, that long haul over, and so you'll see a little bit longer itineraries along Asia and Australia and New Zealand. You can also connect some of those itineraries together where you do a river itinerary and an ocean itinerary. So you can sail on the Rhine and then head up for, similar to the homelands, so the Viking shores and fjords, or a Grand European and similar. You can also do the Douro and end in Portugal and then board the ship and sail from Portugal over to Barcelona. So many, many options out there. Now, I kind of mentioned that quiet season earlier. The quiet season med is one of my personal favorites to go and experience in a little bit cooler temperature, but so much less of a crowd. When you have less of the Western tourism going over in the summer, you can relax the end of fall through spring. Really a chance to see the culture with less crowds, better temperatures in my mind. Some of these areas don't always have air conditioning, and so really a nice way to see and experience. Now, another way to see the culture is through some of the holidays. So you can do this on the rivers as well as the oceans. So Christmas markets, very, very popular along the Rhine, the Danube, and even along the Rhone and Seine in France. We still actually have a few sailings left on the Rhine and Mosel for this coming Christmas. I don't know. It's probably about only 10 or 12 cabins left, but these are a very hot ticket. And so a lot of guests are already looking at 2026 or even 27 to sail on our Christmas markets cruises. But you can also do this on our ocean vessels, that itinerary that sails along the French Riviera. Some of those markets are open along the French coast, along the southern coast, into Italy as well. There's a number of Christmas markets there. So a nice way, again, to see and experience the markets and the holidays there in the region. We constantly have new itineraries, so our guests are always asked, where can we take you next? Where would you like to see and explore? So places like that British Isles Explore itinerary, we've added 4 days to that and focused on Ireland, so a little bit different British Isles in Ireland. I mentioned Malta. There's more and more options to visit that. Also along the Amalfi Coast and then heading to North Africa. So again, constantly adding more and more. I could go on for hours and hours about all of our itineraries, but then I could also talk about our beautiful expedition ships. These are our newest ships, just 3 years old, sister ships, the Viking Octantis and Viking Polaris. I had the great pleasure of actually seeing the ships yesterday and the day before in Milwaukee as they're doing our Great Lakes itineraries. But these were designed to go to the far reaches of the Earth, to Antarctica and to the Arctic, and really celebrating those destinations through exploration. And we have so many neat toys to share. And so here you see the Zodiacs, the kayaks. There's little kayaks there, the red dots behind that center boat. There's our special operations boats, and there's two that you can't even see because they're underwater, our submarines. We have 2 submarines on each one of our vessels, again, giving you the chance to truly explore these far destinations. Now you get to do that though in luxury, and there is beautiful design on our vessels. So you get to see here, this is our Explorer's Lounge, a 2-story lounge where you can sit and relax in the morning, have a coffee, look out as you see the penguins play. Or as you come back from a day off at excursions, you can have a drink in the evening, a glass of wine, again, taking in the beautiful sunsets from inside the Explorer's Lounge. As you get outside, we have beautiful spaces like our Finsa Terrace there that has a steam-driven fireplace where you can go out and take in the destinations or enjoy the spa. Or every stateroom has its own Nordic balcony where the top window comes all the way down, as you can see that center picture where you can sit and have a cup of coffee and look out at the destinations. Now, with the destination comes exploration, and 25 expedition and scientists on board our ships. These expedition team and scientists give you a chance to learn and see and be firsthand part of that science. So you can go into our main theater, our Aula Theater, where they'll host presentations and share about the wildlife or the history of the region, the geography. Or you can go into our Expedition Central, where they'll pull up the maps and you can look at different fossils and materials. As they travel, they'll collect water samples or penguin snot or guano, and you can look at it through the microscopes. Or, as I mentioned, that we have a beautiful spa, so you can relax or you can play with all of the science. And the Antarctica itinerary does sail from Ushuaia. You'll actually fly down to Buenos Aires, where we have a charter flight taking you to Ushuaia, then sailing across Drake's Passage, and then you'll have a chance spend about 7 days in Antarctica. The actual location of each day is going to be based on weather, wildlife. Our expedition leader and captain will choose the itinerary. And this year, we sailed further south. We found a new colony of penguins. We do all kinds of science and research, really taking in those beautiful destinations before then heading back north to Ushuaia. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more action as you travel along on these beautiful ships, we actually have a sailing that goes from the Arctic all the way from the Antarctic to the Arctic. And so you can sail pretty much along the entire latitudinal, distance of the Earth. And so you can see and experience so much in this itinerary. And it's one I wish I could do. It's absolutely beautiful, sailing up the west coast of South America through the Panama Canal, the east coast of North America, going into the Great Lakes a little bit, and up into the Arctic. We also sail all 5 Great Lakes. As I mentioned, I just saw the ship in Milwaukee. We have a new Milwaukee round trip that goes up and down, stops in Chicago as well. Visiting all 5 Great Lakes in the Georgian Bay, where there's all this natural beauty, over to Detroit with American history, with music, and Cleveland, also with its rock and roll, over to Duluth and Thunder Bay and its natural beauty. So much to see and experience. And of course, a little bit of that fudge and flavor of Mackinac Island, a very unique island there, just between the mainlands of Michigan. Closer to home for some is on the Mississippi. So we do sail on the beautiful Viking Mississippi, a blend of our river ships and our ocean ships. That lower deck looks a lot like our river ships, then all veranda staterooms, identical to our ocean ships, sailing from New Orleans all the way to St. Paul and everywhere in between. Now we have some great itineraries that now also go onto the Cumberland River. That's from Memphis to Nashville. So 8 different itineraries altogether, and really just highlighting the history and culture of the lower Mississippi, the flavors and taste, the natural resources of the upper Mississippi, almost 2 separate rivers, from St. Louis North with its 26 locks and dams to the St. Louis South, where it's a more industrial river, where you have a little bit more commerce in the heartblood of America. Now, traveling, I think, is something that's really been eye-opening to me. I've traveled for more than 10 years, seeing and experiencing, and I really wish that you go out, see, experience, travel. And so I have a short video from our chairman really highlighting why he thinks and I think it's important to travel. So here is that video.
When you really philosophize about it, there's only one thing you don't have enough of, and that's time. Time is the only truly scarce commodity. And then, when you come to that realization, I think it's very important that you spend your time wisely. And I think most of us have no regrets about things we did, but I think we can have regrets about things we did not do. More people have come around to this, so what one wants in life is experiences, and that's a way of filling the time one has. And what better way of spending time than traveling, continuing to educate ourselves and broaden our minds.
Viking was named a world's best again by Travel and Leisure readers. Learn more at vikingcruises.com.
So very, very proud of those awards, but so proud of the ability to share and explore the world. And I think really want to give you that opportunity to get out, see, and explore more. And so do take advantage of that, whether it be sailing with Viking or reaching out to John and MOAA Vacations about any travel, because there's so much to see, so much culture to visit in the world. Now, as I mentioned, those awards, so proud with the feedback from our guests. These are not awards we can buy, but awards that our guests have provided through Condé Nast and Travel and Leisure. We've been named #1 for rivers, oceans, and expeditions. We're the only ones that can win them because we're the only ones that offer all of them. But to be named #1 across the board really does say so much about the value and the level of service that we provide our guests. And we're so very proud of the experience and that word of mouth of the experiences that we provide. Now, part of that is the experience that goes into our travel partners, and MOAA Vacations is one of them. And so they're able to offer, as John said, the next it's a little more than 2 weeks till the end of May, additional shipboard credit. John had mentioned how your options are, you could reach out to Viking directly, and our main website does give you great information. And it's kind of the starting point. Viking.com is going to have that base price, and then it's like reaching out to them with the coupons. John and his team have those coupons that are going to be able to give you the additional promotions. They're going to know which sailings are going to have more value. So, as I said, the starting price is going to be our brochures or our website. And then John's team is going to be able to add more value, as well as their knowledge on travel protection and other flight options, pre and post extensions. So do reach out. Excuse me. They can also help you navigate groups. So I mentioned those 2 groups that are already organized, but John and his team can also set up. If you have a few like-minded friends that want to travel together, we can create a custom group for you. And there's additional savings per stateroom. As the groups get larger, there's more amenities that are added. So if you have a couple of friends who might want to travel together, reach out to the team, and they'll be able to, again, add more value. Right now, we do have our spring sale. There's a number of itineraries with free international air. So from many of the gateways around the U.S., you'd simply get there. And then the rest of your trip with our free air comes our free transfers. So much, and simply a $25 deposit to lock that in, to hold that price, and to guarantee you the best possible rates. With that, really just want to say thank you for attending. I know we're going to do a little question and answer, but want to say thank you, and really want to see you join us on board. So thank you.
Thank you,
John.
Brett.
Did I do okay? Did I do okay?
You did a fantastic job. To kind of expand upon what Brett was just talking about, groups, for those of you who belong to a local chapter, we can do a chapter trip. We can do, what's become really big over the last decade would be multi-generational trips. That would be, the grandparents would go, the parents and the kids. Cruising is so great for that type of travel because, you're all together for breakfast and dinner, but, different family members have different interests. So during the day, you don't all have to do the same excursions. And then when you get back together at the end of the day, you all certainly have something to talk about from your adventures from that day. So absolutely, if you're interested in a group. And what's the minimum for a group? 5, 6 staterooms, would you say, Brett?
So it's 5 staterooms is our goal. But if we end up with 4, we don't take it away. Yeah. So you might as well set it up and try to get to that. And I know there's even been some guys that get with some of their regiment or their company, or they want to see some of these people that they haven't seen in years, and it's a nice way to travel again.
Yeah, there's so many options for the groups. As I talked, multi-generational, local chapter, or your state COC. Obviously, for whichever branch you were in, or if you're in, most MOAA members are in other military organizations. So let's say your local VFW or whatever that might be. But yeah, absolutely, it's an opportunity. I personally like traveling with friends and family. I do both those types of trips. get the whole family together. So it's certainly something to consider, not just for the money savings, but as an opportunity to more enjoy the experience, which is what a lot of the popularity of the MOAA groups is the opportunity to travel with people who have a shared background and share the experience with other people, regardless of that destination. But it's sort of like Egypt. Egypt is one of those bucket list, kind of once in a lifetime trips. And I think a lot of people get a lot more out of it, just to, you go and you see something, and then that evening, you all talk about it, either at cocktails or at dinner, or cocktails again after dinner. But I think it just adds a lot to have other people you can kind of share that experience with. I'll tell you how good you did, Brett. We still don't have any questions, so I guess we can just end it here. Just as a reminder, we are going to upload this to YouTube. We will send everyone a copy of this webinar. So if there's something you want to revisit, for example, you want to kind of go forward to that section on the Egypt cruise or the ocean cruise, whatever that is, absolutely you have that. I mentioned at the beginning, share it with friends and family or people that you're interested in going with. Obviously, you can take your group of friends or family and go on one of the MOAA groups. You're absolutely invited to do that. Or obviously, Brett talked a lot about other destinations if you want to go there. So absolutely that possibility as well. So we are here to help. Brett, I'm going to turn it over to you for the final word.
Yeah, as I said, do get out, explore. The world is incredible. There's so much to see, and really do want to give you the ability to travel in comfort, and that's our goal, is to give you this nice way to travel and unpack once, and really show you the world. So there.
Do you honor
see
other
there's a
cruise lines
question.
loyalty programs? I think if what Mike is asking is, does Viking honor past the loyalty programs from other cruise lines, be it either ocean or river? And Brett, I can let you answer that, but I mean, the answer is no. So
no. So we, between rivers, oceans, expeditions, we, within our own company, we honor, it's based on your last sailing. And so we do have discounts. We have a discount for anyone who's a past guest. And then if you sailed within the last 12 months, even more. Currently, there's even some double pass guest promotions going on, but it would only be within Viking, Viking Rivers, Viking Ocean, Viking Expedition. If you sailed on any of those, it would be together. So,
yeah, I think the question was, do you honor other cruise lines loyalty program? So I think so. That's a no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now the questions are coming in. So, John, so the Nile trip on 9/20, April 2020 is not going to be a MOAA group trip. Yes, it's a MOAA group trip. If I said
April
something that it's not, I apologize. No, we had the two groups that Brett talked about today, which was, they call it Pharaohs and Pyramids, which is April 9th to the 20th of next year, and then Viking Homelands, which is the Bergen to Stockholm cruise, which is July 29th to August 12th of 2026. Both of those are MOAA groups. So can you address how the free air works? Brett, you want to take that one?
So our free air or discounted air, there's a number of different, depending on the itinerary. Sometimes it's $7.99 or $9.99 for the air. What it is it's based off of, it's about 25 major gateways or hub cities in the U.S. So I live in St. Louis, so the free air most likely, in my case, would be from Chicago round trip. So you would only pay the difference from St. Louis for myself to Chicago, and then the rest of the air is all included. And so it's really a great value with our air. Then you get the transfers to and from the ship. And so there's, as I said, about 25 major hub airports that the free airfare is from. If you're not at those major, it would just be getting to those. and that's all booked through Viking as well. So you would just pay that small difference, and then part of that then all can go into travel protection if you choose to add it through Viking, or John and his team can look at other options if that's needed for you. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, if I'm doing a Viking cruise out of Chicago, I can either have Viking, tell them I'm going out of Kansas City, and then they tell me, well, Kansas City is this amount of add-on, or I can fly Southwest or wherever I want and get to Chicago, and then jump on the Viking Air. So
Yes.
obviously, you can do whatever you'd like on that question. Do you plan to cruise the solar eclipse in 8 of 2026, August of 2026? Currently, we do not have a MOAA group set up, nor to my knowledge do we have any plans to. But if a chapter or a council or somebody reached out to us and said, I want to put the group together, we can actually help you promote that. If the question is directed to MV or MOAA Vacations, Brett, do you guys have cruises for the solar eclipse in August of 2026?
We do, and I'm trying to think where that one stretches, because I know like our Egypt solar eclipse, we opened it and within it was like an hour it was sold out. So I'm not 100% where if this is across the US or where the eclipse hits on that day.
Gotcha.
But we do, I mean, with ships all around the world, we highlight, if that itinerary is going to be in the region, we will always get, the glasses and everything to make sure that we celebrate and enjoy the natural phenomenon. So.
There you go. Yeah, what I would recommend is if you look on the screen now, you see the telephone number, you see the email address. If you don't already have a cruise consultant with MOAA Vacations, either give us a call or drop us an email and we'll get one assigned to you. Or if you already have one, reach out to them. But as simple as a phone call or an email and say, I'm looking to do the solar eclipse in 2026, it would obviously kind of help a little bit if you kind of gave us a feel for where you wanted to be, and then let them do the research. They can either do it on their own, they can involve Brett, and then they can get back to you and say, here's what's still available. I did look at my notes. I did have one thing I was going to mention before we go. Brett mentioned the Viking website. We do have a MOAA Vacations branded Viking website. It was included in the invitation. It will be included in the email as well. So when you get the email with the link to watch this webinar on YouTube, there'll also be a link that you can click on and it takes you to the MOAA Vacations kind of version of the Viking website. So we actually have our own Viking website that has basically, has the same information that you could find on the Viking website. So just wanted to know if that was there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
John, there is one more question that just popped in that I think it's about they've deposited with Viking but haven't paid, and they wanted to see if they could move it over to you. So if it's a new booking, you have 60 days from your deposit that you can move it over to MOAA. And so depending on your situation, but yes, if you've booked Viking already, if it's within a certain window, do reach out to John and the MOAA team, and they can potentially take over and add value to the itinerary. Or if you're getting ready, if you booked Viking and you're about to sail, reach out, because for your next sailing, there's some added value that can be added as well. And while booking on board, you can actually add John as your agency of record, and additional savings could be added that way too. So that's there. As I said, they're like the coupon that adds more value. So don't miss out.
Coupon. I like that. Okay. And then somebody said the eclipse is Western Med near Iceland, so I guess that's the best place to see it. So once again, if you're interested, reach out either to your existing or request a cruise consultant, and they can check availability and get back with you. So want to thank everyone for their time, and thank you for joining us today. We have a great relationship with Viking, and we'd love to help you save on your next Viking cruise. So I'm going to try this again. Brett, I'm going to turn it over to you for the final word.
Again, thank you all for joining. So happy to share and to explore the world in comfort. So take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.